Howdy everyone and welcome back. I'm back here with the mushrooms and it's time to harvest. So I'm going to show you when to harvest your mushrooms. I'm going to talk about a few ways in which you can store your mushrooms and keep them for later. And then we're going to do a recipe with them today and I'll show you how to cook those up and we'll have a taste test. So come along with me and we'll check that out. So the way to tell when to harvest your mushrooms is by looking at the way they're shaped. You want to look at the largest mushroom in the bunch, and once the cap becomes flat on top like this one is, that's when you know when to harvest the whole cluster. So let me show you how to harvest these things. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to come back behind this cluster here with a good knife and just cut the mushroom from the bucket. Just like that. We're going to do that with this big one here too. We're just going to come along back here. And cut. Some of these are tougher than others. And there we go. A nice cluster of oyster mushrooms. So now we need to get these rinsed off and prepare these to be cooked. Before I get into preparing these to get ready to cook, I want to try one of these just raw as it is and see what it tastes like. They're a lot like button mushrooms with a extra sort of flavor that I can't really describe, kind of a earthy, woodsy flavor in a good way. They're really, really good. The texture's great, and I can see myself growing a whole lot more of these now that I know what they taste like. So now we're going to get to getting these things prepared and ready, and I will get to y'all right after that. Another thing you want to keep in mind is you want to wait to harvest your oyster mushrooms until you're ready to cook them. It seems like oyster mushrooms don't keep for very long once they're harvested, so you want to have a plan for them once it's time to harvest. There are ways of preserving oyster mushrooms for long-term storage if that's your goal, and I'm going to leave a link down in the description on a few ways you can do that. But in my case, I have just enough oyster mushrooms for me, my mom, and dad to have a good meal with. So I'm just going to cook all these up at once, and I'm going to show you how to do that. First things first, we need to give these a good wash. And this is only if you're going to be cooking these right as soon as you pick them. You don't want to wash them until you're ready to eat them, because water seems to deteriorate them quickly once they're picked. So we're going to give these a quick wash, and then we're going to cut these up into bite-sized pieces, and I'll show you the next step after that. Alright guys, we got them all cut up. I just cut the ends of the stems off. They're kind of tough, and I cut them up into a little bit more manageable sized pieces. And what we're going to do next for this recipe is we need to boil these for about 20 seconds. Not very long, just get a little bit of cook on it before we put these in our pan. So we're going to do that next. Okay, now that we've got our mushrooms boiled for 20 seconds, now we're going to add 2 cloves of garlic to a pan with a little bit of olive oil in it, and we're just going to stir fry this around until it's fragrant. If I can get it all up in there. And once we got that, we're going to add our mushrooms, and we're going to add a half a tablespoon of sugar and stir that around for a minute and 30 seconds. And once that's done, we're going to add a little bit of soy sauce, and we're going to just mix that around. And once we do that for 1 more minute, it's going to be done, and we're going to be on our way to trying this out. So now for the taste test. They're still a little hot, but I'm going to try them out. Let's see. That is awesome. I can't say enough about how good just that is. It's got all the good flavors of the soy sauce and garlic, and it's just simple with the mushrooms as well. So I highly recommend this, and I can't wait to eat more of these. So if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you have any questions for me about any of the ingredients I used or anything I did along the way, be sure to leave those down in the comments. And as always, if you haven't done so yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you can be there when all the new videos come out and all the new recipes I've got planned are going to be put on. So until next time, I hope you'll join me right here on The More You Grow.